A Chinese satellite company just posted the exact location of every American military base in the Middle East on social media. Not estimates. Not rumors. High-resolution images showing the precise runway positions, individual aircraft models, air defense battery locations, and troop numbers at every single U.S. installation within striking distance of Iran. And Iranian state media immediately started broadcasting those exact coordinates with explicit threats to destroy them. This is not a coincidence. Here is what makes this moment genuinely alarming. The company that published these images is called Mizar Vision. It is based in Hangzhou, China. It has alleged ties to the People's Liberation Army. And in the last 72 hours alone, it published satellite confirmation of 11 F-22 Raptors, America's most classified stealth fighters, at Dhafra Air Base in Israel. The USS Gerald R. Ford carrier strike group departing Crete heading toward the Middle East. THAAD missile defense batteries at Jordan's Muwafaq Salty Air Base. F-35s and F-15E Strike Eagles at every major hub the U.S. is using for a potential Iran strike. Every American base. Every American aircraft. Posted publicly on social media for the entire world, including Tehran, to see. But here is the question that every defense analyst in Washington is asking right now and not answering publicly. Is China helping Iran kill American sailors? Stay with me. Because the answer is more disturbing than anything you will see on cable news today. What Mizar Vision actually published. Let me walk you through exactly what this Chinese company released on February 27, 2026, because the specific details matter. Mizar Vision published high-resolution satellite imagery confirming 11 Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptors parked on the runway at Dhafra Air Base in southern Israel. This was the first public confirmation that America's most classified aircraft, the F-22, which the U.S. has never officially acknowledged deploying to Israel, is sitting on Israeli soil right now. The same release showed the USS Gerald R. Ford departing Suda Bay Naval Base in Crete with its full carrier strike group heading east toward the Middle East theater. The Ford joining the Abraham Lincoln means the United States now has two carrier strike groups in the region simultaneously, a force posture not seen since the height of the Iraq War. Earlier releases showed detailed imagery of Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest U.S. military installation in the entire Middle East. Muwafaq Salty Air Base in Jordan, including the newly installed THAAD batteries that Washington had not publicly confirmed. Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean, where BeiDou Spirit stealth bombers are pre-positioned. The frequency and granularity of these releases shocked Western defense analysts. We are not talking about blurry overhead imagery. We are talking about imagery detailed enough to identify individual aircraft models by their tail configurations. To count the number of missile canisters on a THAAD battery. To map the entry points and runway layouts of bases that American operational security was designed to protect. Defense Security Asia concluded that Mizar Vision's disclosures, and I want you to hear this exact phrase, represent classic gray zone warfare. Not espionage. Not hacking. Gray zone warfare. Using commercially available tools to achieve military effects while maintaining complete legal deniability. Now here is the detail that reveals this is not random commercial satellite monitoring. It is a calculated intelligence operation. The one base they deliberately hid. Out of every major U.S. military installation in the Middle East, Qatar, Jordan, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Greece, Diego Garcia, Mizar Vision published detailed imagery of all of them. Every single one except Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. Al Dhafra traditionally hosts one of the largest concentrations of American fighter aircraft in the entire Middle East. If Mizar Vision was doing neutral commercial satellite monitoring, Al Dhafra would be at the top of the list. Their satellites can absolutely see it. They chose not to publish it. Why? The UAE military is a client of China's defense industry. The UAE has purchased a full squadron of AVIC Hongdu L-15 advanced jet trainers directly from Chinese defense manufacturers. The UAE has active military purchase relationships with Beijing. So here is what the pattern reveals. Mizar Vision published detailed targeting imagery of every American base that Iran could strike. And it deliberately protected the one American base hosted by a country that buys Chinese weapons. That is not a commercial decision. That is operational intelligence management. Someone decided which bases Iran should see, and which bases should stay hidden. The PLA published it directly. Now here is where any remaining doubt about Chinese government involvement disappears entirely. The People's Liberation Army published through its own official social media account, China Military Bugle, the PLA's verified government channel, a video featuring high-resolution satellite images of 8 U.S. military bases in the region that it stated were under active surveillance. Not a commercial company. Not a front organization. The official communication channel of the world's largest standing army. 8 U.S. bases specifically positioned for strikes on Iran, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Greece, Israel. Diego Garcia. Think about what it means when the official social media account of the Chinese military publishes targeting surveillance imagery of American bases during an active military crisis. That is not transparency. That is a threat delivered through pixels. That is Beijing telling Washington, we are watching. We are sharing what we see. And there is nothing you can do about it. And then look at what happened within days of that Jordan base imagery being published. The sequence that proves coordination. After Mizar Vision published high-resolution imagery of Dhafra Air Base in Jordan, showing the exact layout of THAAD batteries, F-35A stealth fighters, F-15E Strike Eagles, and A-10C attack aircraft, Iranian media published a targeting video. Not a general threat. A specific video documenting that exact base from the air. Showing the runways, the building layouts, the entry points. With explicit messaging warning that Iran has the ability to render the base inoperable with high-precision strikes. Iranian officials on social media called openly for capturing American soldiers stationed there. Chinese satellites confirmed the base layout and defense systems. Iran published the targeting video and the explicit threat. Same base. Same week. That is a coordinated intelligence handoff conducted in public. China identified the target. Iran announced the strike plan. Washington watched it happen and cannot legally call it an act of war because technically a private Chinese company just posted some satellite photos online. The spy ship in the same water as American carriers. Now let's talk about what China has physically positioned in the Persian Gulf right now. Because satellites are one thing. What the PLA Navy deployed is something else entirely. China has sent the Liao Wang 1, its newest and most advanced maritime surveillance vessel, into the Gulf of Oman alongside a Type 055 destroyer, widely assessed as the most capable surface combatant currently operational on Earth. The Liao Wang 1 weighs 30,000 tons. It is 734 feet long. It carries at least 5 radar dome systems, high-gain antennas, signal processing equipment, electronic intelligence collection arrays, and telemetry receivers capable of detecting and classifying military activities hundreds of miles away. It is designed to monitor military satellites, track missile launches in real time, and function as a mobile command and control center that can relay all of that data instantly to whoever needs it. Right now, the Liao Wang 1 is sitting in the same water as the USS Abraham Lincoln. It is watching every aircraft that takes off from that carrier. It is tracking every course change. It is monitoring every launch pattern. And it is transmitting that information in real time to Iranian targeting commanders who have ballistic missiles pointed at that ship. Chinese analysts have been remarkably open about the arrangement. For words, China provides the eyes. Think about what that means operationally. American carriers are designed to maneuver. Strike doctrine has always relied on that maneuverability as a layer of defense against ballistic missiles. A missile fired at coordinates from 30 minutes ago hits empty water. American planners have relied on that gap between old coordinates and current position for decades. The Liao Wang 1 eliminates that gap. China gave Iran navigation that America cannot jam. During the 12-day war with Israel in June 2025, the United States jammed GPS signals over Iran with significant effect. Iranian air defense systems that depended on American satellite navigation were disrupted. It worked. Iran took that lesson and acted on it immediately. Iran negotiated with China to replace American GPS with China's BeiDou satellite navigation system on its ballistic missile guidance systems. BeiDou is China's sovereign satellite navigation constellation. The United States has zero ability to jam it. Zero ability to interfere with it. Zero ability to switch it off. The missiles that Iran fires at American bases will not be navigating on satellites Washington can disable. They will be navigating on Chinese satellites that are completely outside American reach. That is not an upgrade to Iranian capability. That is the removal of America's single most effective non-kinetic defense against Iranian missiles. Washington spent decades developing the ability to degrade Iranian guidance systems. China spent what appears to be months making that capability irrelevant. And now combine BeiDou guidance with the Liao Wang 1 providing real-time carrier position data. Iranian Fateh-2 hypersonic missiles travel at Mach 15. With real-time targeting updates from a Chinese spy ship and guidance running on unjammable Chinese satellites, those missiles are no longer aimed at where a carrier was. They are aimed at where it is going to be. The full Chinese support package. Let me give you the complete picture of what China has provided Iran in this crisis, because satellite imagery is only one piece of it. Iran is actively seeking to purchase CM-302 supersonic anti-ship cruise missiles from China. The CM-302 travels at Mach 3 and is designed for one specific purpose, killing aircraft carriers. China has provided Iran with advanced electronic warfare technology including systems that successfully blocked Starlink's satellite internet during the January protest crackdown, cutting Iranian civilians off from the outside world and cutting opposition forces off from communications. China and Russia participated in joint naval exercises with Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. Russia is supplying Iran with 48 Su-35 fighter jets under leaked Rostec documents. In December 2025, Russia and Iran concluded a $589 million deal to rebuild Iran's air defense system with Chinese technical support, completing a layered sensor network that American stealth aircraft will now have to penetrate. And in January 2026, just weeks before the bombs started falling, China, Iran, and Russia signed a trilateral strategic pact to strengthen political cooperation and deepen economic integration. This is not the isolated Iran that American forces struck in June 2025. This is Iran with Chinese satellite coverage of every American aircraft that takes off, Russian fighters improving its air force, and guidance systems that Washington cannot touch. Why China is doing this? Here is the question that Washington is debating right now and not answering publicly. Why is China doing this? Why would Beijing risk a direct confrontation with the United States by functionally providing real-time intelligence support to a country at war with America? The National Interests Analysis this week gave the clearest answer. China relies on Persian Gulf oil imports for a critical portion of its energy needs. An American military campaign that disrupts the Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passes, directly threatens Chinese economic survival. China and Iran have built a shadow financial system specifically designed to bypass American sanctions. Beijing signed a 25-year cooperation agreement with Tehran in 2021 worth an estimated $400 billion. China has enormous economic stakes in Iran's survival as a functioning state. But here is the strategic calculation that goes beyond economics. By operating through Mizar Vision, a nominally commercial company posting images on social media, China achieves maximum military effect with complete legal deniability. Washington cannot formally accuse Beijing of an act of war for publishing commercial satellite imagery. The information is technically public. But the operational effect, Iran receiving a precise daily updated targeting package for every American military asset within missile range, is functionally identical to China handing Tehran a complete intelligence briefing. Gray zone warfare. Maximum effect. Zero accountability. Here is exactly where things stand right now. 11 F-22 Raptors at Dhafra Air Base in Israel, publicly confirmed by Chinese satellites. 2 U.S. carrier strike groups in the Persian Gulf, their movements tracked in real time by a 30,000-ton Chinese spy ship. THAAD batteries in Jordan, location published, Iranian targeting video filmed and posted within days. Iranian missiles now running on BeiDou, guidance systems that America cannot jam. A trilateral Russia-China-Iran strategic pact signed in January 2026. If Trump orders the next wave of strikes, every aircraft movement will be watched by Chinese satellites and reported to Iranian commanders before the weapons land. If Trump waits, Iran's targeting picture sharpens every single day that the Liao Wang 1 sits in the Gulf of Oman tracking American carriers. If diplomacy collapses completely, Washington will be launching the most surveilled military operation in American history against a country that already knows exactly where every plane is parked, every carrier is sailing, and every missile defense battery is positioned. China did not fire a single shot in this war. But China may have just handed Iran everything it needs to fight it. We will find out whether Washington strikes anyway, or whether knowing China is watching changes everything. I will be here with updates every single day. Share this video right now because what I just told you is not making the front page of most American news outlets, and it should be. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. Stay informed. Stay safe.